You're looking at a 1967 Camaro NickleBack, owned by Greg and Chris Allen out of Selbyville, Delaware. We started with a SS 67 date coded correct Camaro and took it out of the box a little bit. On the front of the car, we got a custom one-off CNC grill, custom grill bar, custom headlights. When we get into the engine compartment, you've got an air filter tray that we designed to get access to the cone filters that supply air through the grill, through the inner fender wells, into the firewall air plenum box to feed air to the blower of the throttle body in the back of the rear of the firewall. We used a 1996 IROC LT1 block that is totally re-engineered to adapt a new style Magnuson blower onto a old school block of a 96 block. To do that, we had to cast aluminum a custom intake for the blower to be able to adapt to the heads of the LT1. After that, we turned the blower around backwards with the throttle body at the firewall to pull air through the front of the car, through the inner fender wells, again, down through the firewall. The motor dynoed at, I think, around 600 at the crank. We also did a chassis dyno on the car to dial the car in for air and fuel mixture ratio, so the car is very, very dialed in. It runs extremely well. On the front suspension, we used a Heights Pro G K-member that we molded, smoothed, modified, trimmed, tweaked their kit, which is a nice front end. The hood has been lengthened 2 inches overall. The valance has been shortened 2 inches, and the center of the hood has been lengthened 13 inches to accommodate custom 26-inch ports in the hood that are functional for air. The windshield moldings, the rear windshield moldings, are all custom one-off made. If you notice the trim on the windshield and rear window, they're all radiused and all the corners, which all the hood corners are radiused, the bottoms of the doors are radiused, the rear trunk lid's radiused, the bumpers are radiused, the rear spoiler's radiused, even the trim in the floor of the car has got the same radius in the floor to match the radius throughout the whole car. The interior in the car was designed by us and sewed by Steve Holcomb. All the trim in the car, metalwork in the car, I fabricated, recessed all the trim in the car to mimic the trim that is recessed on the outside body of the car. On the roof, where the body line goes down the top of the roof, I ran the body line around the front of the windshield, above the windshield, which gives the roof, it looks like the roof has been raked when in essence it hasn't. If you look at the rear of the car, what was the center gas cap is now a third brake light that lights up SS. The tail lights are custom one-off LED with custom lenses, frames that we machined for those. The bumpers on the front and back, I started with the Camaro bumpers and cut, chopped, spliced them things and moved them in really tight. and also we did a Heights independent rear suspension that we narrowed 2 inches, modified, trimmed, molded, smoothed, everything on it. Every bolt, nut, and washer on the car, close to 1,000 pieces of hardware, we machined, and all the bolts are diamond head cut, and the shoulders of the bolts set in recessed washers to give it a neat, clean look. And one of the neat features on all my hardware for underneath the car, there is no bolt threads exposed. At the end of all the bolts, there's also 12-point nut caps to cover all the threads. So that took some doing, but the end detail was phenomenal on that. A lot of people asked about what these caps are on the back rear of the car. They are gas caps. They push down, they pop up, you screw them out. The driver's side is methanol tank for the injection, which is hidden under the intake of the blower, the squirt nozzles for the methanol. And then the passenger side is the fuel tank, which we run 112 octane in. The wheels are machined one-off, which is a 5-piece modular wheel that is bolted together from the inside, also with custom 12-point diamond cut head bolts holding all the wheel together. The center of the wheel is nickel polished with a chrome outer hoop on the wheel. 20 by 12s on the back and 18/8 on the front. The exhaust on the car is a neat feature. The tips come actually through the body of the car and out the bottom in front of the rear wheel. The neat thing about the paint on this car, first of all, we created our own color, sandstone gold with lava rock bottom. The pinstripe that separates the 2 colors at the bottom are interior color. The pinstripe that goes around the whole perimeter of the car comes around the bottom of the belly pan, inside the fender well opening, all the way around, back out in front of the tire on the lower belly pan, goes all the way to the front. The pinstripe comes all the way across the bottom of the door to the fender, comes in the fender well, around inside, and back out to the front belly pan, and then around the front nose of the car. So the pinstripe is tied all the way around the whole car. So hats off to Advanced Plating, Paul's Chrome, Ogden, Walker Morgan helped us with the exhaust on the car. EVOD Industries made the wheels. Sean Dove of EVOD. I did all the paint work, body work, metal work, built the car. Steve Holcomb did the interior, Pro Auto out of Knoxville. Everybody that has been involved in this car, I thank you all so much for giving it 110%. And the end result is you're looking at the Mother Shine Award 2019 NickleBack 1967 Camaro.